to us, he had already instructed his lawyer to prepare a quit notice for me and some other tenants. But my God, Pastor, and we did not know. It was during one of our meetings about the water that the lawyer casually told us that hi, my YouTube subscribers, you're welcome to my page. If you're new here, my name is Oluchi and this is Oluchi's Lifestyle. You're welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like and share, comment. Okay, thank you so much. And please, I'm using a microphone. You can see in this video. Let me know in the comment section. Do you prefer my videos with microphone or without microphone? Now, from the caption, I know some of you already have an idea of what I'm about to talk about. I want to share the reason why I moved out from where I was staying, and it had everything to do with my landlord. First of all, let me clear something. It is not like I have never lived in a compound where a landlord stays, and it's not like I don't want to become a landlord tomorrow. Because I know some people will come and say, so you don't want to become a landlord? I want to be a landlord, and I pray that when I become one, I will not make my tenants uncomfortable, and even if I live in the same compound with my tenants, I will not make life difficult for them. And anybody that wants to make me uncomfortable in my own house, God will remove that person. Now, I'm not a problematic tenant, and even if I was, you cannot tell me that in a compound of about 7 or 5 flats, everybody is problematic, because almost all the tenants had one issue or the other with the landlord. So it was not just about me. Yeah. When I moved into that apartment, I took it like it was my own house. I did everything with that mindset, always praying that God would bless me with my own home someday. I was even the first tenant to move into that house, and it was a brand new building. So naturally, I was doing a lot of things like caretaker, even though nobody was paying me for it. I was the one coordinating things, pumping water, collecting money from tenants to fuel the pumping machine, to recharge, the meter, because it had a separate meter for it. I also collected money for cutting grasses and maintaining the compound. I did all of that without complaint. So for the first 6 months before the landlord moved in, everything was peaceful. Everybody was living freely, no issue, no tension, Then the landlord moved in. And around that same time, I had traveled and just returned the day before he moved in. Shortly after, we started having serious water issues. At first, we thought it was an electrical problem, so we kept fixing things, calling engineers, spending money. We spent over 70,000 naira trying to fix it. But the problem kept coming back. The tank wouldn't fill, the pump would fail, water wasn't stable. So we decided to find a permanent solution. That was when an engineer finally told us the real issue. The borehole had dried up. Apparently, someone nearby had dug another borehole and it affected ours. So we needed to dig a new one, probably deeper. Now, before we even discovered that, we thought it was just the pumping machine. They said the new one would cost about 370k, and the landlord insisted we should do 50-50. Then I bring half and he brings half. But my husband stood against that, and honestly, other tenants supported that decision. That's where the misunderstanding started. The landlord took it personal. From there, things changed drastically. Okay? Sorry. Meanwhile, we did not even have water for almost 2 to 3 months. We were buying water, calling outsiders to fetch water for us. We endured it like that until he eventually agreed to dig another borehole, which he said would cost millions. After the new borehole was done, instead of things getting better, his attitude changed completely. Sorry, I need to be checking that. He started controlling everything. Who should turn on the water, who shouldn't, saying he did not want many hands on the machine. The freedom we once had in that compound disappeared. Just like that. Then he started keeping malice with me and my husband, all because of that earlier disagreement. He even said the issue was that my husband did not come to beg him. Unknown to us, he had already instructed his lawyer to prepare a quit notice for me and some other tenants. But my God, Pastor, and we did not know. It was during one of our meetings about the water that the lawyer casually told us that a quit notice had already been issued. My God, imagine. Can you imagine? Things got worse. The man said so many hurtful things. There was a time he said he gave us the house in a platter of gold. House that I'm paying for. That statement alone was very painful. Living in that house became uncomfortable. We could not talk freely. It felt like he wanted to silence us. But in my mind, I said, no, nobody can silence me. If I'm not doing anything wrong, I will speak. A lot of things happen in that house that I don't want to come and start mentioning. Both the one I remember and the one I've forgotten. At the end of the day, it got to a point where staying there was no longer about comfort. It became stress, tension and emotional frustration. And I had to make a decision. I started looking for house, and because for me, once your home no longer gives you peace of mind, it is no longer a home. I did my best as a tenant. I respected the place. I contributed. I even went beyond what was expected of me. But sometimes, no matter how good you are, some situation will still turn against you. So I chose peace. You know, that is why I left. So tell me in the comment section, what do you think? Have you ever experienced something like this with a landlord? I really want to hear your own story. What's your thoughts? Tell me down in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more. Thank you for watching. And please do well to watch my previous video. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye. Love you.